Riders on the storm, riders on the storm. Into this house we're born, into this world we're thrown.
Thrown, tossed, birthed. There are no choices to make when it comes to deciding who, what, or where one is placed in this world, at least not at birth. The gods, the stars, fate, karma, the constellations, the powers that be, somewhere, somehow, we're dealt with the life we have been given, the one we've been fated to receive. I've walked countless miles to the streets of East LA. It's the house where I was born, the house where I was made, the place I once longed to forget like a reoccurring nightmare, the place I once thought that if I was to bloom, it would have to be done through concrete. And like many people here, I too am the son of immigrant parents. I am the accumulation of strife, persistent determination, sweat, grit, tears, love, loss, of goodbyes, of I'll see you laters, of I'll see you on the other side, Pal Norte, of call me when you get there, of the earth-shattering words, they didn't make it, of solo Diosito sabe por qué pasan las cosas. I am all these things and nothing, seamlessly weaved together into an infinite thread of memory, like strands of DNA, like rosary beads swaying in the wind, ni de aquí, ni de allá, neither from here or there. And if I wasn't from here or there, was my identity only a construction of the person I thought I was solely based on the fact that I was born in the land of the free? Or was this more like a kind of amnesia that had managed to blind and erase my roots with its cultural and social conditioning simply because I longed to fit in? My creative journey, my quest for identity, has led me to realize that I am not only one thing, but I'm also the other. I am large. I contain multitudes, Whitman wrote best. I am the student, the teacher, the artist, the writer, the son, the lover, the queer, the weathered, the victor, the hopeless, the faithful, dwelling in two worlds, bridging, connecting, and completing a journey, a cycle, a dream stemmed from my mother's womb, her country, the motherland, just like many other Latinx first, second, and third generations. Albert Camus wrote, "The purpose of a writer is to keep civilization from destroying itself." Similarly, Baldwin echoed, "A society must assume that it is stable, but the artist must know, and he must let us know, that there is nothing stable under heaven." And so, as veils keep being lifted, and although at times it may feel like society is caving in on itself, crumbling, I urge from writers, artists, educators, creators, and from myself to unite and continue the good fight in our communities. For the next generation of students, queer, Latinx, and POC kids, let our words and works of art be the culmination of the sacrifices our ancestors made to get us here. The artwork, the education, the stories, these are the invisible pillars of our society, even if they go unacknowledged. For I'll remind you of what Shelley once wrote in case you've forgotten. Poets are the unacknowledged legislators of the world. And yes, I ardently believe that art has that kind of power to save life. Art saves lives. But this doesn't mean the struggle is over. Many POC communities and families today still face many obstacles. Street vendors in East LA and bordering communities are being criminalized for trying to make a living. But the questions I ask is this: when a group of people are excluded from a system because they don't have papers to work, isn't it fair to say that one has to find ways to persevere? Not because they want to be rebels and break laws. They do it because they need to survive, because they've got children and families to feed, bills and rent to pay. And I ask you this: if you were in their shoes, wouldn't you do the same? But this doesn't matter to the powers that govern. This system's only concern is to find ways to keep hardworking immigrants gasping for air, life on a razor's edge. Which leads me to ask, how can we trust a system that doesn't value all human lives? Why do we continue to give away our powers to a system, a government, a group of chosen leaders who to this day have groups of people detained in cages because they're illegal aliens? Have they failed to see the beauty of diversity and humanity in these groups of people? Why doesn't the 5 o'clock news report the fact that detainees are trapped in squalid conditions, overcrowded and cold-temperatured rooms, and given inadequate medical care? Have we failed as a society to value human lives simply because they don't have the required documentation to step on the land that once was theirs? Tell me, is this democracy? I state these facts as I contemplate James Baldwin's words. It is for this reason that all societies have battled with the incorrigible disturber of the peace, the artist. In a system that's been designed to benefit one racial group's way of being, moving, and thinking in this country, I for one am another proud incorrigible disturber of the peace, who will no longer be a bystander, succumb to these systems that keep promising change but only continue to perpetuate a never-ending cycle of broken promises. So I'll fight them with what I do best. I'll fight them with art, with words, with music, because art can save life. Art saves lives. And as the rising sun greets its hillsides each morning and another generation blooms to fruition, I am reminded of Langston Hughes' poem, I Too Sing America. For many years they have sent people of color to eat in the kitchen when company comes, and for years we have laughed, have ate well, have grown stronger, but now the sleeping giants have risen and we're no longer eating in the kitchen. The sacrifice our parents and ancestors have made have not been in vain. We are here in this new America, unrepresented in the mainstream media, but nevertheless existing and thriving despite the obstacles. We're here sitting at the dinner table, taking everything that belonged to us. This is a call to artists, to writers, to educators, to the souls who are sickened with disgust of what this country has become. I urge you, just as I urge myself, to continue creating, writing, and birthing new works of art, and to inspire a world filled with justice, opportunity not only for some, but for all.